Everybody, we are back. It is safe to watch. Favorite podcast, favorite channel, favorite is everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me, at mholder95 for Matt, and of course pandasubs.com. Discount code TDL for 35% off, and as well. Shout out to Dogs Media Network for supporting the channel. Also, like I always say, make sure you guys, you probably saw at the beginning, make sure you guys cop a shirt. Definitely get us, keep the shirts going, guys. You got all these people join the show. Go copy a shirt, guys. Go copy one, support the channel, and support us. So today we're doing breakout candidates, right? Matt's doing Jakorian Bennett. I stepped on the sword and did Aidan O'Connell. So we'll see how this goes.
Pander a little bit.
I'm pandering a little bit today. Did a little pandering. It was more. I saw his PFF grade to end the year because I was gonna do Trey Tucker. So I started watching Trey Tucker, and I was like, oh man, he's anticipating pretty good here. Let me look at this grade here. And I went and looked at the PFF grade, and it showed that he from week 12 to week 18, he played the best out of any of the rookie quarterbacks. And he was actually ranked 13th in the whole NFL. So to end the season. So I was like, okay, so there's some carryover from there. So you could be my breakout candidate here. Because I could have did like Zamir White or something easy or something like that. It's too easy, right? It's not really like a throw out there. You know what I'm saying? Like a throw out what I'm thinking of. What's that game? Did you throw the darts? Throw a darts? Yeah. There we go.
That was my initial reaction, but I'm like, there's no way he's forgetting the game darts.
Yes, it did. All right, so but first, okay, so today's the first day of mandatory minicamp. We got no holdouts, so that's good to hear, right? You got no holdouts. There's no contract issues. That means a lot around the league. I mean, Aaron Rodgers didn't show up. Even I don't know what that's about.
Well, yeah, you got to get rid of the distractions that aren't about football, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then like Amari Cooper didn't show up. CeeDee Lamb didn't show up. So but all the Raiders were there, and I guess the defense dominated today, which we expect the defense to take a next step anyways. And they dominated today. Wasn't very good plays from the offense. I guess the offense is learning. They are learning a new system, right? Jacoby Myers is on the podium talking a little bit, but this is the first time him playing it in any other system than the Patriot system. So he's learning it totally. He's like learning Spanish basically on the fly. But I guess there was some good plays from the offense, but the defense really showed itself. I guess Christian Wilkins was really showing why they picked him up. Max Crosby, they're all over everybody. But what were some of your thoughts on some of the things you saw?
I mean, yeah, I think the biggest thing is like the quarterback situation is going to be the biggest story, and the thing we talk about every single time from now until they name a starter. And I mean, it seems like it's kind of more the same of OTAs. Not that OTAs was that long ago, so we shouldn't expect much to change. Where it's just back and forth. And I mean, the defense being ahead of them, like you said, makes sense. I think right now they're also the unit that's most used to playing with each other right now. From the carryover from last year, I think there are a lot more guys that left offensively. And a lot more key guys that left offensively that were starters. And again, they're not having to learn a brand new language. Most of them are in year 3 of working with Patrick Graham for the most part. So, and I mean, as much as I love to hear that the D-line's dominating and I expect them to sort of wreak havoc, it is kind of funny to me that that's the storyline when there's no pads on. Cause like as a defensive lineman, like I loved it when we only had helmets because as an offensive line, especially as a pass rusher, you're in a very defensive position with no protection on your shoulders. So you can kind of you get away with a little bit more as a pass rusher, maybe be a little more physical. And those guys don't like it as much. Don't like taking a helmet into the chest. For sure. Yeah,
that's for sure. So the offensive line, it looks like Pete was playing left tackle today. So that kind of shows you when we did the breakdown that he was the utility guy, right? So he's playing left tackle for Colton Miller, who wasn't practicing today. Definitely was on the sidelines. Jackson Powers Johnson returned, but I guess he was playing in and out, I guess. And Cody Whitehair was playing left guard with the first team. So that's what make me a little nervous. But we'll hope Jackson Powers Johnson gets healthy. See how that goes with Cody Whitehair. And then I guess some other notes that I saw is that what's his name? Who's returning kicks? Trey Tucker's doing kick return.
Oh,
yeah. So Trey Tucker's doing kick return for that. So yeah, just a couple of things. I mean, really, with mandatory minicamp, we really didn't get too much. I mean, they're hyping up Jalen Guyton here. He made a leaping catch or something like that. But Part hands back at right guard, so which is a good thing. So I really like that. But also Dylan Lobby had a good day. So we'll see if he beat out Amir Abdullah.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of nice to hear that Lobby's having a good day because, again, this is a guy that I think both of us are pretty excited about and interested to see. And I think one of the questions was how quickly can he adjust to the NFL game? And the fact that he's standing out already is a good sign to moving forward. And he's obviously the future with Amir Abdullah. I think Abdullah, if he's not 31, he's turning 31 soon, something like that, or he's got a birthday coming up and obviously getting up there. And Lobby's more the future, so the faster he can take over, the better. But I wouldn't worry too much about JPJ switching in and out with that white hair, like we were just talking about. The one guy that does know the language is Cody Whitehair, so he might even be in there just to help everyone else out, especially if they're having a lot of problems and miscommunications early, which completely normal. And then on top of it too, JPJ, the biggest thing is he's back on the field. That's what you want to know more than anything. And if they're still kind of easing him back and making sure they don't push it, now is not the time to push it. End of August, beginning of September is the time to push it.
Yeah, exactly. So they're saying Lobby had some first team passing down, so he's rolling with the first team. That's pretty. So I mean, we talked about that. How maybe Amir Abdullah might get kick off the team, but me could get cut. I mean, it might be a surprise cut here, but seeing Lobby playing with the first team, that's very interesting. Is already, I mean, just having that dynamic of him coming in there and playing with the first team is super interesting to me. That means he definitely has a chance to play really early.
Yeah. I mean, someone breaking the news about Amir Abdullah running with the first team a few years ago was a big part of how he ended up having a role on the team.
Yeah.
Did that piss you off a little bit? You're like, man, when I do it, it's this big issue, and then when Vic Tafer does it, no one cares. I mean,
nobody cares. But yeah, Josh McDaniels, he's like, no, you can't tell people that Amir Abdullah's playing. Like that was some big secret or something. Like Amir Abdullah's gonna surprise the NFL. We have Amir Abdullah on this football team. They don't know about this. That was the weird part of it. But man, but with Minshew and O'Connell, though, is super interesting because what they're talking about is that Minshew has more scrambling ability, so you can't see it. And Max Crosby was talking about Aidan O'Connell a little bit, being more confident and kind of talking, shit back and forth with the defense. So I kind of still feel like O'Connell has the leg up, and it's still his job to lose. And then Minshew, maybe in the preseason, I guess maybe if they like that type of stuff. But Minshew's not gonna look good in practice. I mean, that's really what's the truth here.
Yeah, I mean, you can argue about how good Minshew is gonna look in the game. I mean, we'll see that firsthand, but I'm not holding that with a ton of confidence. We'll see. I mean,
yeah, man.
I'd rather not have a quarterback that we need to make excuses for.
Yeah, man. It was a season with the Colts, man. People just are like the season with the Colts that he had last year. I guess people are just kind of buying into that hype, and you won't see what he does in practice. You'll see it on Sundays, but to me, that's like Marcus Mariota a little bit, right? Let's just say about Mariota, he doesn't look good in practice. He looks better in games, but I don't know if that's really true. I don't think that's really a thing. I don't know. I still feel like that's a thing, but that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah, no, I kind of agree with you. I mean, if we're banking on Marcus Mariota being the guiding light for that line of thinking, I don't think that's exactly the argument you want to be making as a big Marcus Mariota fan.
Yeah, it's yeah, I mean, you should look good in practice too. That's all I'm saying. You should look good in practice. I mean, it's practice. Listen, I mean, you're not getting hit. You know what I mean? So, but I guess Devontae looked really good. So it's gonna be super interesting. He didn't say anything about the tight ends though. Brock Bowers, kind of likes to hear some information about some of those guys, but didn't hear anything really special about that. So
yeah,
dude. All right, man. So let's get into the players that we're doing today. So Jakorian Bennett, who is actually pulling away a little bit. He's taking that job from Brandon Facyson. And he's playing with the ones. I'm sure it's not going to change too much. Like I said, with minicamp and stuff like that, it's hard for guys to kind of just jump over somebody. I know we saw a lot of that with Josh McDaniels with the line and him just putting Thayer Mumford at ones out of nowhere. But, usually with NFL teams, you don't see that too much. Usually they kind of, put the starters together now. So, I mean, Jakorian Bennett probably has the shot unless he gets hurt in training camp or something like that. So what were your thoughts on Bennett?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest things is like when I went back and watched, we're going to go back and look at his game against Buffalo, which was one of the games that he got most heavily targeted. And I think it's probably one, if I remember correctly, it's one of his worst PFF grades just kind of to see what the floor looked like. And that kind of seemed to be at least the start of the end for him from last year, which again was week 2. But a lot of his mistakes were just mental. Like we'll see some of them where like I'll sit there and be like, I wish I could tell you what he's doing or what he's thinking and what he's doing wrong, but he's just kind of seems like he's like frozen. Like there's like almost like a glitch in the matrix or whatever, and he's just kind of out there where he just had a lot of mental mistakes. And they're like, there's one rep in particular against Stephon Diggs where it's just kind of to me like was a little bit of the difference between a veteran receiver and a good one at that going up against a rookie corner who's still kind of thinking too much and not quite getting it. Like, so yeah, there's definitely a lot of encouraging parts of his game too. Like I'm going to take us through like the game against San Francisco in the preseason last year, which again, preseason. So how much weight we put into that is, up to your discretion, but it does highlight a little bit of what he can do when he's playing more confidently and when he's not thinking as much. I think last year, especially in that Buffalo game, I wouldn't be surprised if we gave him some truth serum and he was out there and said, yeah, I got a little nervous when I saw Stephon Diggs on the other side and I watched that dude, moss up corners that quite frankly are way more talented than I have and stuff like that. And it just seemed like a guy that got thrown into the fire too quickly and wasn't quite ready to go. So the good end of that is that's fixable when you get more experience and you get more knowledge in the system. And we've talked about it all the time, like get more comfortability playing in year 2 even with veteran players. We've talked about that. I think he can play a little bit faster and you can see a lot of his athleticism and a lot of stuff that like made him a week 1 starter last year that got people like myself excited about his game coming out of Maryland a little bit more through as he gets more comfortable. And from the sounds of it, like we talked about, no TAs in minicamp. He's been doing that so far.
Yeah, so I mean that's good to hear about him kind of developing a mini camp and stuff like that because just getting benched, I mean that could hurt your confidence a lot. So him having that raising confidence, getting that job back and getting a chance to be a starter again. I mean you want to see him kind of take off a little bit because the depth at corner is not really there right now. That's why I still think they need to sign a veteran because they just need more depth because I feel like. Especially a slot corner, like who's the backup slot corner right now? Like they really don't have one. So that's a little scary. So yeah, they need to. I still think they got to go get a veteran at some point. And there's all these guys out there that are just sitting at home and just chilling, maybe doing some workouts. But you would like to see those guys, somebody come in here and kind of add some depth to this cornerback room.
Yeah, I was looking at it earlier today. 9 out of 11 corners on the roster have 4 or less years of experience, so are basically on their rookie contracts. The only 2 guys that aren't are Brandon Faison and Cornell Armstrong, who, if you're asking who Cornell Armstrong is, I don't blame you. He's a 5th-year guy that's been bounced around in the NFL, so he's another fringe guy. So we're looking at, my point here is that we're looking at the Raiders rolling into the season potentially with, if they keep 5 corners, probably 4 of them are going to be on rookie contracts. If they keep 6, 5 of them are going to be on rookie contracts. So, like you said, not a ton of depth there. I mean, that's a big part of why I keep pounding the table for them to go after a guy like Stephon Gilmore. We found out earlier this week that Steven Nelson, they were interested in him. And I can't remember if they said they brought him in for a workout. I don't think that happened. I think they just said they expressed interest or something like that. That was Aaron Wilson's report. And then obviously Nelson ended up retiring, so that's kind of off the table. Did leave the door open to maybe return in the season, but it doesn't sound like he's going to has any interest in reporting to training camp or even really showing up for a week or signing with the club for week 1. So to me, like at this stage in the game, like I think again, I agree with you. Stephon Gilmore can't be that expensive. Can't be. You have plenty of cap space to bring someone in, but yeah, got on a little tangent there about the corner depth.
Yeah, but it's true though, man. It's true. It's there's just no depth there. They have injuries, man. It could get ugly. That's the kind of scary part, especially if they want this defense to take the next step. I mean, you're fully dependent on this pass rush, and I don't know if that's could be something you could win with going forward.
Very reliant on the pass rush.
Yeah,
for sure.
So, and I did Aidan O'Connell. So, I went through Aidan's last 3 games. So, yeah, there is going to be some Chiefs games in here, guys. Just so you're prepared. But, it was just interesting. I started watching Trey Tucker, and I was watching Aidan, and you're like, you know what? I mean, he was doing some good things in that game when I was watching Trey. And I was thinking, like, maybe he could break out. There's some things that he does. He was doing well at the end of the year that he wasn't doing when he was first starting. But I still think he has like some issues with like more of being able to throw in muddied pockets, right? And then like kind of throwing outside the numbers consistently and being accurate over there. Because I mean, that was to me a lot of the missed throws that people see that he's missing these throws is when he's has to make a pass where he can't fully step into it or things like that. But I mean, there's just a lot more anticipation out there. Definitely was very controlled in a tough quarterback system, and he was able to like go through reads and stuff like that. So there was a lot of positive, more positive than negative to end the year. So I thought, of course, he just has a limitation where he just can't move that much. He's not going to be, he's not a freakish athlete. So, I mean, that's a big limitation. I really try to point that out because, I mean, we all know that. I mean, what am I really showing? So, yeah, it's not really a, newsflash. He can't move. So, you know what I mean? Like, so, but I still think there's some elements of somebody who could find a way to get around that limitation and still play good football. So, yeah.
I mean, like we keep saying it. Like with Gardner Minshew, we know what Gardner Minshew is. Aidan O'Connell, there's a little bit of mystery, and I mean, maybe he ends up being worse. He could also end up being better. I think there's a little more potential, a little higher ceiling with Aidan right now, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. All right, dude. Let's do some Aidan O'Connell first. Let's just get into that. All right, so let's start off with some Aidan O'Connell, and I just want to start off with his anticipation. I feel like it's a lot better than end of the year. Definitely something to point out there that was just way better. I know at the beginning of the year, definitely held the ball too long, especially against the Chargers. That game, he was just totally freaked out there. But you see here on this one, getting a comeback route here from Trey Tucker here, and you see where he's throwing this football. I mean, he's not even out of his break yet. And these are some of the things that he was able to do pretty well here. And it kind of, this is a little bit of foreshadowing here on this one, but I'll go back, kind of see just the timing he got here. Good timing on that throw. Good catch there by Trey Tucker, though.
Yeah.
And I'll show from the backside here on this one. Good job pointing out the blitz there. Getting that blitz pickup. But, he has the pressure. He can't fully step into the throw a little bit. So you kind of see how it's just that sometimes it's going to peep up a little bit and it kind of affects his accuracy. But you see the anticipation that he had there. So here's another one here. A little bit. Yeah. Because, I mean, he just can't fully step into it. So ends up nose diving here. Yeah, because he can't fully step into that throw. And that's when you see those big arm quarterbacks like Trevor Lawrence and those dudes. They don't need to step into a throw. They just what I mean, throwing bullets here. So here we go. Here's another one to Trey Tucker, kind of basically the same concept. Other side, but you see here now he has a fully clean pocket, right? And he does a great job timing this up. So he's already throwing this ball. He's not having his break. I mean, if he's late at any point at this ball, it's not bad coverage here for Surtain. I think it's Patrick Surtain there. It's not bad coverage. He's right there, but this ball is already out. So by the time he's Patrick Surtain notices the out route, and Trey Tucker does a great job coming back to his football, and then he's able to get a completion there.
Yeah, that was honestly a decent rep by Surtain.
Yeah, it's a pretty good rep, but like I said, we have timing, and you get rid of this football, and then Trey Tucker does a good job of, because if he doesn't come back to this ball, it might be picked. I'm not gonna lie. So he does a good job of coming back to this football, helping his quarterback out. But you just see the timing that he has there on some of these throws here. So he got a whole lot better at this as the year went along. So this is one of my favorite throws that he made here against the Colts. So you see on this one, drop back, you're basically getting like you're getting a curl, you're getting an out, but you're going to get a corner route here from Devontae Adams. He's facing cover 3 here. They started off looking like 2 high looks, so I'll bring it back a little bit. Kind of looks like a too high look. I mean, he's creeping out a little bit, but it just looks a little bit like too high. This guy could drop back. All right, but kind of stays, kind of, double teaming here with kind of the cover 3 look here, and they want to double team this guy, or maybe they thought Adams was going to do something, right? When you're playing inside, but you see Aidan O'Connell's already letting this ball go, right? Because you see this corner, he's playing this out route with Trey Tucker, and this safety is, he's watching over Devontae, but this ball is already being thrown, and Devontae hasn't even came out of his break yet, not even close. And the ball's already in the air. It makes a great throw, right on the money.
Not much you can do about that defensively too in that coverage.
Yeah, so this is the kind of the development you saw from him later on in the year, and while he finished the year strong, where he had like 9 touchdowns, 1 interception. It's these type of throws where you're anticipating what's going to happen, because like I said, if he's late, let's say he just waits for 1, he's getting sacked if he just waits. 2, if he waits, you see 29, Julius Brents, he recognizes this. Plus, Adams is going to be out of bounds if he's late. 20 is going to get there. He had to throw this on time to get this ball in there before, so Adams could get up and down, right, for the completion. Makes a great throw on that one. So I really like this one too here. This is a versus Patrick Surtain again. Surtain plays this really well once again. He's one of the best quarters in football. And timing up with Devontae Adams is very tough. It's not something that is easy to do. Is timing up with Devontae Adams on some of these throws. And you see, take it back a little bit. See the timing he has on this one. Get rid of this. He's already throwing this football. Adams is coming out of his break. You see him already getting his hand off the football. He's about to throw this ball. Right, and Adams still hasn't came out of his break, because Adams is trying to get separation from one of the best quarters in football. He's going to need to do a lot of funky work here, and this ball had to be spot on, because if he misses it, like I said, if he missed this inside at all, I mean, that's a pick, right? And does a great job of throwing that ball right outside where only Devontae Adams can get it. Surtain can't get his hands on it. He still almost does, but that's a great throw right there. Good timing.
Beautiful.
So like I said, at the end of the season, he definitely could tell that he was getting his timing down with his receivers, which he's going to have a leg up on Gardner Minshew with, right? And you don't see Gardner Minshew anticipate that much like this. So that's one thing that's different. But you got to see he has a clean pocket here, and he's able to anticipate and makes a very tight window throw right there. Adams makes a great catch, gets hands up late, right there, tight window throw. It's a good throw right there.
Beautiful.
All right, and then even this is the deep pass. I mean, this is kind of what stands out with him versus Gardner Minshew too, is his deep throw. Now, I'm going to show you that he's going to put his whole body into this throw. Okay, all right, but I do like the timing of it. Okay, so you got Trey Tucker up here. He's going to be running a double move on this corner, right? I think that's the dude from Pittsburgh. I forgot his name, but he's going to do Mathis. Yeah, so he's going to do a double move, but as soon as he's hitting that double move, I mean, Aidan O'Connell's already stepping into this throw. He's already letting this ball go, because I mean, this is another one. If he's late, or if he waits, or he double clutches or something, he's not gonna be able to make this throw, and then Mathis is gonna be able to catch up to it, right?
Yeah,
and he gets it right there to Trey Tucker right there. So show it one more time here. I mean, it's a good route by Tucker too, right? Arm over right there. But you see that, I mean, the timing of this throw, the ball's already in the air when Trey Tucker's looking. Allows him to get the completion. Allows the ball to get up and down, right? And then I'll show you here, because I mean, this is kind of, with the arm streak type of thing. But I mean, it is probably the biggest arm that we got in this team. But he has a clean pocket here. He's able to step up. He kind of just puts all into. You see, it's just like it was like he's, he had to put his whole body into this. His legs whipping. But he got it there. So I mean, there is some elements here, like I said, I mean, of him able to be a successful NFL quarterback, and show some up, not necessarily upside, but growth, because he's learning how to play around his skill set, which I think is very important. I think him learning up to play around his skill set is important in all of this. All right, just something like Kirk Cousins does, Brock Purdy, all those guys play around their skill set, right? So it's a for his growth. That's what he's gonna have to do. All right. So what I like about this one here is that he wants Trey Tucker on this little seam route here. You're getting what? What are you getting? Some like here. Looks like you're getting some. Yeah. Look at quarters. I can't see because of my webcam on the other top of it. That's fine. But you see Trey Tucker. He when he wants to go to Trey. You'll see it from the backside when I show it. You see his eyes are looking at Trey, but he sees I mean, maybe he could squeeze that in there, maybe. But I think he makes a good decision here. Holds the ball, knows he's got time. He's got Jacoby Myers wide open here. Comes to a second read right there. Makes a good throw. Gets first down. You kind of see it from this side here. And you see his eyes, right? And what I like here, doesn't get his feet too close together. And you see, he thought about it. He's thinking about it. He's like, no, that's not cool. So then he comes here. What I would like though, just me nitpicking right here. I would like him to kind of get his feet set so he could point it at Jacoby. It ends up being a decent throw here, but his feet is still kind of set towards Trey Tucker. But kind of just want him to reset his feet a little bit there. But you see him kind of go through his reads there. See it? It's not there. Okay, I got time. Boom. I don't want to force it. And another critique is maybe like just see this quicker, make a quicker decision here. Like, boom, okay, I can't hit that. Hit Jacoby really quicker. Boom, hit Jacoby now instead of waiting that long.
Because he does get kind of lucky here with the linebacker taking the cheese against the check down on the running back. Yeah. You see how EJ Speed, I think is his name.
Mm-hmm. He does him and CJ Stroud are having a podcast battle. EJ Speed.
Are they?
Yeah. They are.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But anyway, just each other do podcasts. But yeah, because EJ Speed, he could have went with Jacoby Myers and left this here, but I mean, maybe he's just going off tendencies and expecting kind of to check this ball down. But it's a good job by him kind of going there. But want him to get to that read a little bit faster there. Same thing here on this one, right? So he's opening it up here. Kind of has like a smash route concept right here because you see it, so you got the little or we call this curl flat 7 is the football term here because you get the flat route here from Abdullah and then you get a 7 from Austin Hooper here, right? It looks like we're playing against cover 2 here, and so you see he wants this over here, but does a good job of just coming back to Devontae here. And he gets to this one quicker, which I like. Last time we didn't see him get to that one quicker. He recognizes the coverage. He sees he can't go here. He doesn't even try to look at Austin Hooper. He just comes right back here, backside, right to Devontae, gets first down. All right, and this is what you want to see him get better at when you watch it from this angle is him making these throws under pressure. Because I mean, this is a problem. You see Dylan Parham just gets destroyed here by DeForest Buckner. Just oops. just beat really quick, and he does a good job of. And this time, you see how he he does a good job resetting his feet here. You get the feet pointed this way. It's a good job of shuffling his feet, getting it over here, so he can make a good accurate throw under pressure there. And this is what you want to see from him more. I'm going to point this out later on, but you need more of this because I mean you're not going to be able to have perfect throws, perfect pockets, perfect everything all the time. You got to be able to make these type of throws and be accurate, especially if you're a pocket passer. If you got to be a pocket passer, you have to make these type of throws accurately. And you see it here on that one. So, I mean, that's something that you really like on this one. All right. And this is something, that he got better at the end of the year too, is just pocket movement. All right. So I posted this one on Twitter. Illuminor, I don't know what he was doing on this one. But he just lets 45 go right past him. But O'Connell does a good job of stepping up in this pocket, right? Because if he just stands here like a statue, he gets sacked. But he steps up. He knows he has a clean pocket in front of him. He basically has kind of this a little bit of this different concept here. He's got Hunter Renfrow coming out in this out route. They're playing cover 2, but he wants Jacoby Myers right here. He does a good job stepping up. Then he resets his feet here, and he throws this in between the coverage here, right there to Jacoby Myers. So it's a nice play there. So, I mean, these are the type of things, if they want to score points and they want to score more points, he's got to do these things more consistently through the air if they can't run the ball. Now, you see here that, I mean, maybe he was looking at Devontae originally, but, he definitely does a good job of resetting his feet and then throwing this ball in between coverages right there.
Yeah. Nice touch.
Yeah, I mean, so like I said, I mean, to end the year, he did some good things, and I know some negative Raiders fans could say the Broncos weren't trying on this game. I know somebody's gonna say that, but it's fine. I mean, that's your opinion. But because Illuminor, he goes inside. I don't know what Illuminor is. He just lets this guy kind of go. Oh, it's another play. Illuminor, this is why he's not on the football team right anymore. You can tell. But you can see here, with the pressure coming, all right, step up, feel it. All right. And then it's also about resetting your feet, get your feet pointed towards the target. It was a good accurate ball, right, with some nice touch right over Patrick Tane, who almost got his hands up there with that one.
I feel like O'Connell's pocket movement got better as the season went on too.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like he wasn't doing that when before earlier.
Yeah, he's gonna say like the versus the Jets and the Chargers and stuff. Like hell no, he was just throwing this ball on the ground, basically. But that's the growth, right? So I mean, and this is a totally different offense, tougher offense. It's the growth that you like to see. So here against the Chiefs, here got play action. I mean, Dylan Parham. This is a Dylan Parham slander breakdown, but he ends up avoiding this pressure. I mean, he does a good job avoiding this. I mean, this is what I mean. He when you can't move, these are the type of movements that you have to do, right? And he ends up getting away from this pressure, avoiding a sack, getting this ball off, getting it to Austin Hooper, getting some yards there. Right, avoiding pressure, getting that ball off like that. It's not bad.
And that was his last completion of the game.
And then this one, you got another one with the free rusher, right? I mean, you're thinking Aidan O'Connell, he's getting sacked here. And these are the things he got better at as the year went along, right? So he was able to avoid the pressure, good recovery there by Van Roten. But he's able to kind of throw this ball off balance, get it to Austin Hooper there with the check down. Hooper's able to take it to get a first down there. So there was some growth. I mean, there's some growth in him from the beginning of the year to the end of the season. Definitely a lot of growth and a lot to maybe think that maybe he could get something done here and keep this momentum going into 2024. So yeah, that was a good play. All right, so let's get into some of the issues here. So one of the issues is basically when he's not mechanically correct, what I would say, he definitely misses to the outside a lot. Okay. So like this one, this should be easy throw. Like it's good anticipation, easy throw. You got off coverage here. Easy throw for him, right? But you see, he doesn't fully step into it. I'll kind of show it on the back end. He doesn't fully step into this throw. It just airmails it.
Mm.
All right, and it's something that it happens. This could happen with him if he can kind of mess up some things there. You see, he doesn't fully step into the throw. He doesn't even follow through. Really, this foot doesn't really come forward. It's basically he just threw this all front leg, and he ends up airmailing it. And I mean that's what we call an airmail, right? Those are the 34 right here. All right, so and this is one too. I mean, should have been a touchdown for Davante Adams here. Davante Adams, he's gonna be running out route. He's gonna just work the hell out of Mathis. Mathis is just gonna get embarrassed here. Look at this route. It's just nasty. Nasty. But like I said, I like the timing. Look at the timing, right? We like the timing, the anticipation. I mean, anticipating what Davante Adams takes a lot of work. All right. Some Carr could not do this. Carr would struggle the hell out of this. And, they supposedly worked out all the time. But you see here, he kind of steps in his throw a little bit, but there's too much on it. And then, maybe you could make the case that maybe Davante Adams should catch this ball, but you can make the case that this should be an easy throw. He's wide open. Just make this throw, man. Just throw it right to him. He walks right in, man. Right in his chest. He shouldn't have to do all this, right?
I mean, yeah. Davante's got to catch that, but I agree with you that O'Connell's got to put it at least where he can like hit him in the chest and not above the head if he's going to throw it behind him.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Up and away, or up and inside is a tough spot to miss.
Yeah, and a little bit of this is what I was talking about with the pressure in his face and him having to deal with some pressure. I mean, that's a face mask. I don't know what that's about, but you see there, right? It's just a little too high, and then you're making Devontae have to make a tougher catch than he needs to. Just get this ball to him. You know what I mean? Just get this ball to him accurately. It's a walk-in. And you can see even Trey Tucker has his hand up like touchdown, but it wasn't one. I like Trey Tucker's reaction here. It's just hilarious. It's just like, oh, he's like, what? No. All right, so here it gets the Chiefs. All right, so this is what I'm talking about. Him being able to make throws with like people at his feet and these type of throws. I mean, in the Chiefs game, this part of the reason why he didn't play very well, because the Chiefs they're kicking their Raiders offensive line's ass. All right, and you see you got another rusher coming here. Now this is another part of him. You talk about him anticipating. I mean, he should already been throwing this ball to Devontae. All right. Now I know this guy's maybe breaking here, but you see Devontae breaks this guy. He beats him. He basically beats him to wherever this corner is trying to get to. He doesn't really have great transitions. I mean, it's not. I think it's like might be a safety, and I think he's kind of late with this ball. You see, he double clutched. He should be already been thrown it. Ball should already been thrown, but he double clutched like he wasn't sure about it. And then now he throws somebody's at his feet. He can't follow through, and then he airmails it. All right, and you get Devontae Adams one-on-one in the safety here. You want to be able to make this throw. You see it here backside. Play action, right? You get these guys sucking up. This is what you want. Just, as soon as he throw this ball. Now, right here. Throws the spot. Let Devontae go get it. He's running. You get a big gain here. Right? But he double clutches. It's like he wasn't sure about it. I don't know what he wasn't sure about, but he kind of double clutched here. And then you see how he fades away from the throw. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, if to take the next step, he's got to be. It doesn't matter if this is happening. He can't step into this throw. You got to be able to make this throw, right? Get some touch on it or something. But he just airmails it. Boom. Yeah. So show one more time here. Like you can't double clutch here. You got to make this throw here. And you miss. All right, and you see another one here. This is what I'm talking about with a little bit under pressure here, with dealing with pressure. He's gonna have Jakorian Myers. Basically, Jakorian Myers is running what they call a blaze out, and he has Myers here, and he's making this throw. But you see, it's a muddy pocket, a lot of guys around him, and he can't step into this throw. I think he gets hit here, and he ends up throwing it behind Jakorian Myers when he's wide open here. So these are the things that he has to improve on. You have to be a good NFL quarterback, and not be fully dependent on your offensive line. You got to be able to make these type of throws here. So with these muddy pockets like this, where you can't fully step into the throw, like you see, you can't step into this. Back it up a little bit here. Right, you got to be able to make this throw. You got Andre James on the ground. All these guys are on the floor. Gotta be able to make that throw. So this one. So here's the throw to Devontae Adams on the slant route on this one. See here, and this was about kind of not being able to step into the throw. You got Jermaine Illuminor kind of backing into him, and he can't step into this throw. He ends up throwing it behind Devontae when Devontae's wide open, right? You can make the case Devontae should catch this, right? But I mean, look at all the space he has in front of him, right? I'd rather him miss this throw here. I mean, because he's throwing it at Devontae instead of just throwing it here. I wish he kind of threw it, to lead Devontae. But like I said, he's not able to step into the throw, so he ends up missing it. Yeah, he's pissing himself about that. But those are his type of things too. And the last thing I'll talk about here is him trying to play hero ball sometimes. Right. And, they haven't been getting any offense going. He wants to make a play. He wants to prove himself or whatever. Right. But, sometimes you just got to be positive. So he's a good job stepping up in the pocket here. Right. You got a clean pocket, step up. But you got Austin Hooper, wide open here. Right. You got Austin Hooper running wide open. And instead, you want to play hero. I mean, which you would have made a good throw here. I mean, you would have got a nice little game, but you want to play hero. You want to throw a touchdown. And, the Raiders didn't need that at this point. I mean, you could even hit Abdullah. Abdullah's open. You get a first down. But instead, you're trying to play hero ball into tight coverage, hoping for a jump ball. And, Jakorian almost makes his catch. He almost does. That's a good play. A 35. But you did see this at times, like especially if they're down or, he's struggling a little bit, he starts pressing. And that's what I think he needs to calm down a little bit. He's struggling in this game. It's a good job stepping through, avoiding the pressure a little bit. But he just forces ball. And like I said, Maris almost comes down with it. But, it's third down and, this it's a close game. You're depending on your defense. You just need to make more plays there. So, yeah, man. I thought he did pretty well.
Yeah.
Pretty
I feel like the biggest thing with Aidan O'Connell, and I mean, you can say this about a lot of young players, it just comes down to consistency. Like even the consistency and just his overall confidence. Like I felt like it was the issue. Like the highlights that we show, like those are great plays, but like he doesn't do that down after down. Like he kind of showed a little bit too, and obviously the part about where his arm strength becomes an issue is when the pocket becomes muddied. Like when it's clean, like that one go route that he threw to Trey Tucker, like no problem, he can do it. But he definitely is a guy that, as far as the off script plays, like we knew, not quite what you're hoping for or expecting from your starter.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, and that's what I noticed too when I was watching him. Is this you got to be able to make those throws because that's the difference between because CJ Stroud, when you watch CJ Stroud, he's not the most athletic guy in the world either, but he's able to make those kind of those throws in those muddy pockets when those guys are in his face, and he can make those type of throws. So I mean that's what you need from Aidan O'Connell. If you're going to be a pocket passer in NFL, you got to be able to do that. You can't just just depend on clean pockets all the time and being able to step through and make those type of things. So I mean everything's gonna be perfect. So that's what he's got to improve on, in my opinion. I think he's got to improve on being accurate in those situations for them to be consistent on offense, right? But he still has a lot of elements where he could be a good quarterback in the NFL. A lot of anticipation, a lot of those things that you see that you like. That a lot of quarterbacks that that are like big arm quarterbacks, they don't anticipate like he does and things like that. So he's gonna have to keep developing that too as well. But there was some good things to watch, and you could definitely see why PFF was getting some higher grades in some of those throws and some of those plays.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, bro. Let's get into Jakorian Bennett, man.
Sounds good. All right, so like I kind of alluded to at the beginning, start a little bit with Jakorian Bennett's about more of his tougher plays, and again, it's really a lot just mental. Like I'm pretty sure here, I'm not entirely sure, just because Marcus Epps is fooling me a little bit here. It looks like they're trying to show one high and then roll the cover 4. I'm not sure if it's cover 4 or technically cover 6, where Bennett would be the flat corner, because that's kind of how he plays it. But just based on Epps' path and the fact that he squares back up to the quarterback, I'm going to assume it's cover 4, and he's not wider than the numbers. So to me, that tells me that Bennett needs to be sinking. And even if it is cover 2, like especially this one thing I try and harp on a lot on this channel is like in the NFL, when you play zone defense, you play it back to front. And 2, like you can notice, like right now we have 2 defenders on our check down here on the flat, on the tight end run, the short out route here. So that really tells me that Bennett's supposed to be sinking, but he's not, and he leaves this guy open by 6 yards. And by the time he goes to recover, like it's way too late, and the Bills end up getting the first down. So that's, again, this has nothing to do with his athletic ability. It's just a guy that, to me, is not quite exactly sure of himself or where he's supposed to be on the field in that coverage. This is what I would consider the defensive or the corner version of playing hero ball. Like, I mean, he just pretty much loses Dawson Knox here, and we'll see it from the end zone view a little bit better. But if you notice, what happens is Bills run a play action fake. He's got his eyes in the backfield, and again, we'll see this a little bit better on the end zone. And he starts to try and cheat inside and get involved in the run fit. My issue with that is, especially since this is man coverage, even if this was a run, you're not making this play, dude. There's 1 yard, maybe 2. Like, even if the running back cuts back, like one of these defensive linemen, one of these linebackers are going to do it. So just kind of do your job and stick to your man. Like if they run the ball in here and they score on a rushing touchdown, that's not on you. Like that's on everyone else in the trenches. But instead, again, we'll get a good view of it here from the end zone view of where his eyes are at. Like he's looking inside. He sees the run action and doesn't even recognize that Josh Allen is out on the bootleg. And then what happens is it's an easy just dink and dunk touchdown. Like even if Allen runs this in, that's on Divine Diablo as the flat defender, or even maybe even Marcus Epps too, who's in the middle of the field. But that's not your responsibility to play the run. Like you just got to get your man. And if you do that, we fight for third down in a third and short situation. Another situation here in man coverage. I mean, this time, like, again, play action. This is tough for a rookie. He's going to get a hard run set from Dawson Knox, and it kind of looks like Dawson Knox is going to end up staying in the protection to help against Max Crosby. So he turns and goes to help his teammate and goes to help Trayvon Merrick against Dawson Knox on the, I'm not sure which tight end this is. Get those two guys mixed up, but it goes and gets the other tight end, or goes to help Merrick on the other tight end, and he turns his back to do it, turns his back to the quarterback, which, unless you're attached to someone, is kind of a big no-no. Because why? Look what happens late. Tight end leaks out, and then he ends up picking up the first down because no one's there because you're 10 yards deep. So for me, like, again, this has nothing to do with his ability. It's just, hey, we can help Trayvon Merrick. We can help our teammate. You're right in doing that. But backpedal into it and keep your eyes on your man and your quarterback. So, again, if this guy does leak out, which is pretty common on bootlegs, then you can go help. And two, Nate Hobbs might end up being the guy that needs some help here against, I think, that's Sherfield on the slot. But either way, like, we leave this guy wide open, and then they ends up getting a first down. This is the rep I was alluding to before. In press coverage against Stephon Diggs, not an easy assignment for a rookie. And he's done everything perfectly right here. Like, he even does a great job of avoiding this little rub route or this little pick from Divine Diablo and recovering. But at the top of the route, he gets pushed by, little veteran move, and he gets beat by Stephon Diggs on this was 3rd and long. The other issue I kind of wanted to point out with this is, okay, you're going against a good receiver. You've got to give something up. And this is cover 1. We're in man coverage for whatever reason. Patrick Graham was calling a ton of man this game. I can't remember why. And like, you look at Trayvon Merrick, like Trayvon Merrick knows he needs to help the rookie corner on their best receiver. So your help is to the inside. And to me, like, I don't want you like down here by the numbers outside, but the one place you can't get beat is outside of you. So let's give him a little bit more cushion and say this is an option route maybe by Stephon Diggs. And if he breaks it in, then we got Merrick to drive on it and help you out. Or maybe you can undercut it and maybe even get a pick in that situation. But what you can't do is get beat to the outside. And to me, when he gets reattached right here, he's just too close and too far to the out and not really like understanding the nuances of the coverage. So it's, again, a minor detail. It's a tough coverage because, again, he's in man, he's locked up against one of the best receivers, but just the little things like were just mental lapses. Get another example of it here. Again, 90% of this rep is perfect. He's in man coverage against Gabe Davis, who, say what you want about Gabe Davis, but he's a good, decent veteran receiver who can have some big games. I mean, gets his hands on him. We're in his hip pocket the entire rep on this little mesh concept from the Bills. But scramble drill happens, and all of a sudden he just loses them. Now, the general rule with the scramble drill that I think is maybe not as second nature to defenders because they probably haven't been playing it offense as much. I don't know what Bennett's background, if he played receiver in high school or anything like that. But the general rule is if your route is like 10 to 15 yards, then you're going to go work deep. And then if it's more than that, you work back to the quarterback. So if you know that as a defender, you can anticipate Gabe Davis going up the field. He doesn't. And again, Gabe's got some good wheels and he can run a little bit and he gets some separation. And it ends up being an explosive play. And again, what was 90% of the time a good rep from Jakorian Bennett. This one was the one where I'm legitimately like, I think he just glitched. Like, little run fit here. Again, second short, pretty clear run situation, especially when they motion the tight end into the formation. And I mean, we can see Marcus Epps. He's like, I've seen this before. I know what's going on. He comes from his high safety spot and comes all the way down and almost to the line of scrimmage and is aggressive. Where's Jakorian Bennett? 3 yards past the first down marker, and he gives space to a guy who has speed when he's supposed to be the outside contained player. And I mean, if he just runs right now, he might make a nice tackle. And we're talking about what a great play this is by Jakorian Bennett, or he forces them into the Spillane, who can clean it up for you. Instead, he just gets beat around the edge, just kind of freezes. So I just don't know what he's thinking here and what he's doing there. And again, what we see from a guy like Marcus Epps, who has more experience and knows what's coming, played a little bit better than he does.
Good hustle by Spillane, though.
Yeah, nice play by Spillane. Spillane, good player, man. Good year. All right, so moving on, like I said, a little bit to some of the stuff that made Jakorian Bennett a week 1 starter. He had a pretty good game here against San Francisco. This time I know it's off coverage, but you can see just the difference in when he's going up against Chris Conley. I don't even know if Conley ended up making the Niners, or I don't know if that's Conley actually, but when he's going up against someone who's not Stephon Diggs and maybe has a little more confidence, this time, like, look at the difference. Same coverage, still cover 1. Now I know the safety tries on the shorter route here, but he knows, hey, I got my help to the inside. Let me get like a yard or 2 of cushion so I don't get beat to the outside. And when the receiver runs the out route, now we just sink our hips and open, and that's taken away. And that's covered. And we force Trey Lance to throw it between 2 guys. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just to kind of show a little bit when he's playing with more confidence. Like, if you would have told me, I mean, it's even hard because he has a different number. If you would have told me that was a different player, I would have believed you. This time it's going to be a little bit better. Now, I think this is cover 4 again, just based on how the safeties are playing it. But you can see, like, here, like, he reads the release, sees the inside release from this receiver, gets some hands on. Now it could be a little bit more physical and get a little bit better route to help his safety out. And I think he can work for a little bit more depth, but you can see that he's starting to get back a little bit more. And again, with his eyes still toward the quarterback so he can see what's going on. And that allows him to see the flat route. Now Trey Lance, this is why Trey Lance got traded. And because that's an awful ball. But had this been a better pass, Jakorian Bennett's either there to disrupt the catch or keep this to a 1 to 2 yard gain on first down, which we'll take every day of the week. I also do have to point out, if you're a Luke Masterson supporter, close your eyes a little bit. Not exactly the greatest robot. And again, that's why Trey Lance got traded, from not only missing that throw, but missing that read.
Yeah. I see that.
Wrap up here. I believe this is the last one. No, I believe this is the last one. Got some little bit of the press man coverage this time. It's spun around. Again, much better job defending against physicality. This is the rep against Chris Conley, where does lose a little bit at the line, gets turned around, but nice speed turn to recover. He matches physicality with physicality. Maybe gets away with a little grab there and stays attached. And you can see that's where Lance wants to go, but it's not open. Force him to scramble. I think that's second down. Maybe it's third. Can't quite read the marker from there. Either way, we'll take that every time, either third and long or forcing him to punt. So, I mean, that's what it is with Jakorian Bennett. Again, I think that is a little bit more encouraging that that's more the issue, or seems to be his biggest problem is it's not necessarily physical, it's more just the mental aspect of the game, which can come with time. And I just think he was as great of a training camp and a preseason and all that stuff leading up to it was for him. He just wasn't quite ready. I don't think it was ready for the bright lights at that time.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of that, because, the route that Diggs did to him, I'm sure that nobody in college would do that route, do that type of, where like the late second, they look like they're running a go route, and all of a sudden they just do a swim move on you. Like, that's not going to happen in college, right? So that type of, that's why I was talking about the transition from corner in college to the NFL, it's totally different because you got these guys who have all these different types of releases. They have all these different types of ways of winning. It's just not the basic type of things. Because you watch wide receivers in college, they're not doing that type of sell to go route and then do a swim move on you like that. I'm sure he was in shock. Like he was like, "What the hell is that?" Like those type of things. You have to learn to that transition. That's why it's tough for corners to transition. Everybody's gonna be Sauce Gardner, you know what I mean? Like or that type of transition is from being a Pro Bowler year one as a corner is rare. Like even the best corners you find, like I'm sure Terry Arnold's gonna have some issues and you have to learn that how to deal with some of these guys. And you saw that there because I'm sure that he had no idea that is possible as a wide receiver, that wide receivers could do that. That was kind of freakish.
I mean, part of it was injuries with this guy, but even Derek Stingley was a guy that didn't have a great rookie year and then ended up bouncing back in year two. Not to say that Jakorian Bennett is that caliber of player, but just to give you some example, like it's a tough transition. And I think a big part of why Sauce was able to make it so quickly is when you're, what is he, like 6'5" and have 33 and a half inch arms or whatever, you can sometimes get away with getting beat every now and again because you can make up with it with some excellent ball skills. Whereas if you're Jakorian Bennett, I think he's 5'10", 5'11", 195 pounds, like there's a little bit less margin for error. You don't have as much natural gifts to be able to recover and go make a play on the ball. But I mean, it is encouraging to know, like, hey, if this guy just figures it out mentally and can get that part of the game down, then he's got the physical part and they got the physical skill set. Because like that rep you're talking about with Diggs, everything was perfect until the top of the route, except for maybe even a little bit more cushion to the outside. Other than that.
Yeah. I mean, he's right on him. He's like, yeah, I got him. Look at me guarding Stephon Diggs, and just all of a sudden, whoop, he's like, swim move. Like, nope, no, you don't. See, that's the type of thing that you got to get used to that, man, because it's gonna happen. That's the NFL. These guys are savvy. These guys just don't get open just because their natural ability at that point. They get open because they have a lot of different techniques that they learn and what they use, and that's why those guys get beat up year one. So it's super interesting stuff. All right, man. So those were breakout candidates. Of course, Aidan O'Connell. Then you got Jakorian Bennett. Definitely some year one guys. I mean, these are guys that you hope that they have some upside and some breakout. Saw some of the things that Aidan O'Connell needs to get better at, and then you saw some things Jakorian Bennett needs to get better at. So hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Definitely, we'll be back Friday with Friday Night Live. Of course, kind of go over all the mini camp stuff and. I'm gonna do some stuff for some members. Try to do some of these, some Aidan O'Connell games, just a full game every single pass. So I'll be doing that this week too. So look out for that as well. And and then we'll probably be back this weekend and doing some more breakdowns, talking some mini camp, man. And we're trying to get to the summer, guys. It's summertime.
It's
gonna be slow. It's close. We're gonna get through. We're close, man. We're close to training camp. We're almost there, but. Like I said, hit the subscribe button, guys. Subscribe. If you haven't checked out some of the other videos that we dropped, we got Pete and White Hair we just dropped as well. So go ahead and check that one out. And hope you guys enjoy it. And like I said, hit the subscribe button, subscribe, and keep supporting the channel. And I forgot, cop a shirt. I said it. Get a shirt, guys.